the meantime, back here at home, it's time for Mets Around the World. And this week, meteorologist Tania Michelle took a quick trip down I-65 to meet our colleague, meteorologist Amanda Curran, who works at our sister station, WSFA in Montgomery.
Hey everyone, and welcome to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm your First Alert meteorologist, Tania Michelle, and today I'm joined with a special and beautiful guest. Her name is Amanda Curran. Amanda, can you tell us where you're at right now?
Yeah, so I'm in the back weather office here at WSFA 12 News. We are the sister station at WBRC, located in Montgomery, Alabama. We're right on historic Dexter Avenue, so within a block or two from this window right here is the capital of the whole entire state of Alabama, which is really cool. And right across the street from us is Martin Luther King's church that he actually preached at several decades ago. So very historic street, and we love it down here in the capital city. And we love being connected with our sister station up in Birmingham. We got to keep the connection going.
Always, you know it. All right, Amanda, so we want to hear about your journey.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have this interest in weather at a very young age. We want to know where yours started. When did you become interested?
There was never really like a start moment. I tell this story that when I was a freshman in college, you take like Meteorology 101. Everybody said, oh, this blizzard or this severe weather event or this tropical system really inspired me, or maybe a fear for weather. Mine was just I was always interested in clouds. I would just look up at the sky and be like, what's that? Why is that one shaped differently than that? Can I touch it? Like, where is that? And I just remember asking my mom what clouds were made of, and she lied. I found out soon after. She was like, cauliflower and cotton candy, and I was like, that seems suspicious. So it just kind of always sparked an interest in what was going on up in the sky. And so I just was really always interested in science. Either you're really good at math, you're really bad at math. I just always really excelled at math and really enjoyed it. And was just always a hobby. It's just, there was never really like a defining start point. It just always was. And then once I got to high school, we had to make a pamphlet on what we could do for a career. And I remember asking my computer science teacher, Mr. McDonough, I was just like, what does somebody who likes weather do? And he's like, that's a meteorologist. And so I did all the research and found out, oh, snap, this is like something I could do and make money, and it would be a career. And it just kind of blossomed very naturally, all because I was curious on what was going up in the sky. And I always like to tell the story about the first time I went on an airplane. I was 10, we went to Disney, and I got violently ill the night before. And my parents are like, oh, she's sick. And I was so hyped. I'm like, I'm going to be on a plane. I'm going to be in the sky, and I'm going to be in the clouds. This is like, I specifically remember the feeling to the point where I made myself sick. So that was an amazing journey. Love still going on planes.
Wait, so did you go on the plane though?
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I threw up the night before. I threw up in the airport terminal. I threw up when we landed. I'm 10. And when I tell you that I was so jazzed, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. But I will say I'm very territorial. If you go on a plane with me, like, do not expect to sit at the window seat. Like, it's just not going to happen. Sorry.
That's my favorite seat too. I guess we can't be airplane buddies.
No, we would have to sit on either side of the aisle so we could both or maybe if we had a layover, we could switch back and forth. But I have to really like you if I give you the window seat.
I love that. Okay, so tell us about your education. Where did you go to school?
Well, I'm originally from Southern New Hampshire, right outside of Manchester, born and raised there. And I looked at a couple of colleges just in New England in general. I kind of wanted an experience where I was close enough to home where I could come home, but far enough away from home that I didn't feel like home was right on top of me. So there was a school about an hour north of me that was Plymouth State University, an amazing meteorology program. But I kind of got to the point where I realized I think broadcasting is what I want to do. I clearly enjoy talking to people, and it was kind of a service-based field for me in the sense that my mom's a nurse. She worked at Boston Medical Center my entire kind of adolescence. My father's a retired police officer, so I saw two examples of people serving people, and I was like, I think broadcast meteorology would be the best way for me to use all of my skills that I like, and that old saying, you never work a day in your life if you do what you love. I was like, that just doesn't seem like work to me. So I found this really, really small school in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont called Lyndon State College at the time. And it was about 2 hours away, so it was the perfect distance. I felt like I was on my own, but if I wanted to come home, I could. They have an amazing television studies program, an amazing atmospheric science program. And it just, it was weird. I stepped on campus, and I'm from a really small town, and it's a very small town that the campus is in. And everybody at Lyndon especially just says, it's a feeling. You just step on campus and you're like, I know I belong here. And it was the best choice I could have ever made. It was the most amazing 4 years. I got the greatest education, learned from some of the greatest people in the industry. And then it kind of propelled me to where I am today.
So tell us about your career journey. So you graduated college. Where did your career begin?
Here in Montgomery. It's crazy. I tell people this all the time. I'm very fortunate enough to say that I took a job straight out of college here in Montgomery, Alabama, and it will be 9 years in July that I've been here. So I graduated college in May of 2014. I graduated on a Sunday. I flew down here on a Tuesday, and by July 1st, I drove 1,300 miles, my Jeep full of all the stuff I owned, me and my parents. And so it's not very typical for somebody straight out of college to take a job in the industry of television and to stay in their first job for so long. I think that's a real testament of what we do here, not only as WSFA as a TV station, the company that we work for, Gray Media, and then also just the community is everyone's a weather enthusiast, which just makes my job so much more fun. Because anytime I go out to eat, anytime I go to a restaurant, everybody wants to talk about the weather. And I'm like, everybody loves the weather just as much as I do. And so it's an amazing community to serve. And it's just the most generous. The people of Alabama, I mean, in time of need for locals, not locals, anybody. If you needed something, the people of Alabama are there for you in a heartbeat. And I just think it's such an amazing community. So I've been really fortunate to say that I am still at my first job. And they've kept me this long. So it must be something good, right?
Yeah, you must be doing something right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so Amanda, you've been there for, you said 9 years?
It'll be 9 years this summer, yeah.
Okay, so almost a decade, almost 10 years. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? I'm just curious.
That's the biggest question I think people ask me, like, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? And when you do TV, there's usually like the people who go, I want to get back to my hometown station. I want to get to a top 10 market. I want to go national. My goal has just always been, I want to be happy. Now, granted, if you would have asked me when I was 22 and you said, hey, Amanda, you're moving to Montgomery, Alabama, you think you're going to be there in 9 years? I'd be like, absolutely not. I'm going to go. I'm going to try it. And I mean, we'll see how it is. And that will just be my launching pad to wherever I go. But I've been really happy with the job that I work, the people I work with, the community that I serve. So, I mean, there's really no downside. So as long as I continue to be happy and the weather in Alabama continues to, be as interesting and keep us on our toes as much as possible. But hopefully in a decade, I'll be happy doing what I do now on TV. I get asked that a lot. What would you do if you weren't on TV? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't want to find out because I don't know what the prospects are, but I don't want to find out.
Wow. So interesting. Okay. So part of being, you mentioned a lot about the community. How important is community to you just in your day to day? Is that what really sparked your interest and even your love for Montgomery, Alabama?
Yeah. I mean, and it's such an important part of just everyday life, whether it's what we do as broadcast meteorologists or as people who work at TV stations. I was very much at a young age taught by my mother, like money can help a lot of people, but your time sometimes will be more valuable to people in need than any dollar amount that you can give them. So I learned that at a really young, crucial age that sometimes the value you can give to people doesn't have to be with a check that you write. And so I feel like the community continues to prove that to me, and it just drives me to continue to want to prove that back to them, that the service that I provide as a forecast, whether it's a sunny and 75 day or an active day where there's a potential threat of tornadoes or tropical systems, even winter weather, if I can be a source of information for people that helps protect them, their property, their loved ones, their four-legged loved ones as well. I'm a dog mom, so I'm all here for keeping the four-legged furry friends safe too. It just, I mean, when the community pours into you, it's so much easier to be able to pour and give everything from yourself to them. It just makes it so much more rewarding, honestly, in the end.
Oh, I love that. And you know that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
So if they're filling you back up, you have more to give out.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, that's great. So what advice do you have for, it could be about life in general, but particularly a meteorologist or someone that has aspirations to go into a weather career field? What advice do you have for them pursuing something that they love?
So much advice. How much time do I got? Let's see.
30 seconds.
When people tell you that your worth comes from anything other than you, they're lying. What other people say about you is none of your business. You have to understand that your worth comes from within. People are going to love you, but you could be the juiciest, ripest peach, and there are still people out there who don't like peaches. Unfortunately, I'm one of them. I'm sorry. It's not my thing. No offense to peaches. You're great, but they're not my jam. So just remember where your worth comes from at the end of the day. We love people who pour into us, but at the end of the day, you got to love yourself first before anybody else can love you.
I love it. Way to finish it out, Amanda. We enjoyed having you here on First Alert Weather Extra, and we hope all the best in the next 10 years of your life.
Perfect.
We don't know where you're gonna be.
We'll check back in 10 years and we'll see where both of us are at.
All right,
we'll do
now,
this again.
We're down with that 100%.
Love it.
Thanks for joining us, Amanda.
Thank you.
Snaps for Amanda on that one.